in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows. There's a man with a passion that everybody knows. He's got a collection that'll make you stare. Vintage pocket knives laid with tender care.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC. Coming at you indoors this morning. Having to get a little bit of early start. We'll talk about that in a minute, the why on that one. But we have Miss Abby. She is sacked out here on the floor. Always when we have these inside videos, she gets to take her a nice day off and take full advantage of it. So she's here on my left hand side, but she's taking a little bit of a siesta this morning. So anyway, what else is going on? Let's do a quick what you toting. No surprise on the slip. What's going into it today, we will actually talk about also in my video. So we won't even open this up and I won't get into too much detail, but we are carrying the rail splitter, the Case rail splitter jack this morning. That's what we're going to be toting. And of course we have OpenSea leather wallet and in front left pocket. Wasn't really prepared this morning, was I? Truck fob and pocket cross. So that is going to be the tote today. And what else? Folks, it is the last chance to throw some prayers up for Florida. I know I've talked about it the last couple of days. That thing will be making landfall tonight, this evening, or into the early morning hours, which is the worst possible time to hit landfall too, because most people it's going to be dark. You can't see, visibility is, it's dark outside. Not going to see what's coming. Not that you could really stop it anyway, but you could kind of, brace yourself, see what's in front of you. So really scary. It's going to come in there at dark or the middle of the night tonight, and just looks like it's going to be a mess. So pray for those folks down there. I know right now the model shows it coming in somewhere around Tampa Bay, from as low as Fort Myers, as south as Fort Myers, up to the top of Tampa, St. Pete. Well, if it comes in right where it's showing now, Tampa, St. Pete, my folks are directly, some of my folks are directly like an hour and a half away from that, as it's going to be coming across Florida. And it is saying that it is going to be hurricane winds the whole way across the state till it reaches the Atlantic side. So, we're talking about 70 to 100 mile an hour winds minimum across the state of Florida, and more than that, 100 plus, Tampa, wherever it actually touches down at, comes on landfall. So it's going to wreak havoc its whole path across Florida, wherever that, whatever path that turns out to be. This ain't going to be good. They're going to need some prayers and support, and I'm nervous. Yeah, I am. Not that I'm, not following, like I said, not that I'm not nervous, I'm not oblivious to what's going on in other states and what has already happened in Florida and Georgia. I am not, but it makes it just a little more real when that is your people that's, pun intended, in the eye of the storm. So, yeah, a little worried. So let's pray it up for those folks if you would. Why are we indoors? We are indoors. It is dark 30. It is 6:49. As I look at my watch right now, we're going to get an early start this morning. Still wanted to get in a video, but we have doctor's appointments today. Back to Little Rock again. So we'll be leaving here in an hour or so for that. So time I got this edited, who knows how long it's going to take to upload. Just needed an early start, so couldn't wait for daylight because, yeah. I think I'm on the road here in Little Rock. I'm solid as a stone, baby, wait and see. I got just one small problem here in Little Rock. Without you, baby, I'm not me. See? You never know what you're going to get on an HT video. Never would have thought about that, huh? Yeah. Well, I had to feed my haters a little something. Y'all are going to have a field day with that, but kind of correlated. Little Rock, I'm going to be on the road. Little Rock, huh? 1994 country. That is Colin Ray, huh? HT variety. Free of charge. Haters, have fun with that one. But anyway, so we are going to do, how do we get serious after that again? We are going to do another People's Choice video this morning. And this one was sent to me from my good buddy, Dwayne, who is probably like, oh. Anyway, this is sent to me from Dwayne. He wanted to see my jackknives, and that can get in the weeds. So I'm going to tell you up front, what is a jackknife? Everybody seems like if you ask 3 or 4 different people, you'll have 3 or 4 different answers, what their criteria for a jackknife is. This is what I'm going with. This is my channel, and this is my interpretation. A jackknife to me, well, they can be single-bladed. There is single-bladed jacks. What I am showing today is going to be my 2-bladed jackknives. When somebody says a jackknife to HT, this is what comes to mind. It would be a 2-bladed, 1 main blade, 1 secondary blade coming off the same end of the knife. Again, my definition, that's what I'm showing today. You're going to say, well, that's not what this book says a jackknife is. That ain't what Save it. I'm showing 2-blade jackknives today. Okay? Okay. So, anyway, let's get on with it. And today we're going to start with our biggest first. This is a Remington, and this is a Whopper. Big old spear point as a main blade, and a big, really could be a full-size blade on any other knife that I show. This could be the main blade, but that is about a 3-inch pen blade. Again, this is a behemoth. This is, well, I have my handy dandy tape measure here. This thing closed is almost 5.5 inches. So this 5 3/8. This thing is as big or bigger than a folding hunter, but this is the Remington R1273. What do they call this thing? I forget what it's exactly called. Master Guide. Don't quote me on that. The Remington Master Guide. So if you like a big jackknife or something like this, yeah, this is a Whopper. Remington, don't quote me, I believe it's Master Guide. So, putting that one down, and we are going to go to the second largest here. Yeah, well, I got 2 of them just about the same length here, but we will show this one first. And I got a little feedback yesterday on these knives. This is another one of those cinnamon bone stag knives from Rough Rider. And I had a commenter yesterday saying, now HT, those knives don't come looking like that. You know, you kind of trashed on that bone stag. They don't look like this. You know, I've got one and mine didn't look like that. If that's what they look like when you got it, you should have sent it back. Touche. I've got to tell him he's right. It did not look like this. And this is a different knife. But my point, and I didn't really bring this out yesterday, what got it to looking like this? Folks, with a little soap and water, if you get this knife sticky, you've been cooked, you know, whatever. If you need to clean these handles, you've got it, you know, God forbid, did an animal, bloody, whatever, or sticky, you've been cooking, you've used it to eat, and you got sticky hands. Anyway, if you have to wash these covers, this is what you get. And that, folks, is soap and water. You can say, well, you must have put acetone or alcohol. Soap and water, which is, come on, you know, that is about as light as you can do to clean handles or whatever, outside of it just wiping it off with something. But folks, if soap and water does that to your bone, that is a pee-poor dye job. And I stand on that. Number one, even when it does, I still stand on when it came originally, it don't look like stag. It darn sure don't look like stag now. But on its best day, it didn't fool anybody looking like stag. But I can just tell you, this series is notorious for whatever ink they use down there. They, you know, you can see they burn it some. They did some burning. And then these valleys and all, the ink did not take, well, it took, but it must be the cheapest ink in the world, because it even started, I've heard people say that they didn't even wash it, take it to the sink, whatever, that ink has even came off on their hand. They'll be using that knife, sweaty hands or whatever. Look, doggone, what is this black on my hand? Yeah. So, anyway, just wanted to, Anthony, that was for you, buddy. Wanted to explain myself to good old Anthony. He's a friend of the channel. But anyway, we have a good old cigar chassis here. This is what I would call a cigar jack. We got a little pin blade here, and we got the main blade is a clip point. Nice long pull on it. Love this knife. I love a cigar pattern. This thing feels wonderful in hand. Again, hear my words. The only thing I don't like about this knife is these hideous looking covers. Now they're hideous looking. To Anthony's point is, well, when they come straight from Rough Rider, they don't look like that. Touche, Anthony, but I do clean my knives. I do get, you know, my hands get wet, sticky or whatever, and I will take my knives to a sink real quick and wash them off. And if a knife in one or two washings look like that, or God forbid, my hands are just sweaty and it starts looking like that and coming off on my fingers, that is a poor ink job. So that was my only point. But love this knife. Carbon steel, if I hadn't mentioned, this is carbon steel. I love a cigar jack. They feel great in hand. Honestly, I love this knife, and believe it or not, I may send this off and do something about this and maybe get this, the covers re-dyed, reburnt, re-dyed. I know a guy that can absolutely do it. But anyway, the Rough Rider cigar jack, yeah. Going in my pocket today, as I showed you earlier, today we are going to tote this. This came from my good buddy, 865, Brother Aaron. By the way, Aaron, I'm going to do my utmost, if you see this video today, I'm going to do my utmost to be back in time for your live show tonight. By the way, he has a live tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. Go watch it. It's going to be, I already know, it's going to be a hoot. The live he did before was just epic. And yeah, I know it's going to be good. But Aaron, I'm traveling today. If I do the math, I should be back by about 4 or 5-ish today. I'm hoping to be back in time for your live. So, but if I don't, y'all go catch it. I'll catch it one way or the other. If I don't catch it live, I'll watch it later. But anyway, Y'all get the point. This is the rail splitter. This is a 1974 case rail splitter that my buddy gifted me for my birthday / hitting 1,000 on-screen family members. He kind of just did a combo gifting for this for me. I love it. And so yeah, 1974, by the way. I'm a 1974. Has some etching on here. Not going to get too deep in the weeds, but that is about South Carolina. I was actually born in South Carolina in 1974. So you see, you guys get the correlation why this is so special to me. Not to mention my good buddy sent it to me. So love this knife. Going in my pocket today, buddy. I'll be toting my rail splitter on the road to Little Rock. Y'all want me singing it? No, we won't sing no more of that. Okay, next we have a Boker tree. And get this guy open. Check that out. Boker. Is this Boker Germany or is this Boker USA? This is a Boker USA, actually. Little jackknife here. I say little. It's about a 4-inch. Check that out real quick. I think it is. Looks to be about 4 inches. It is, yeah. 3 7/8, 4 inches. And we have some jig Delrin on here, on this guy. Little pin blade. Again, we have a nice long pull here. And this is really cool. A saber grind. Can you guys see that? Don't see this a whole lot. About a mid-height saber grind on this dude. Long strike, matched nail nick here. Really cool choices they did on this. Really neat knife here. But yeah, that saber grind is really cool. Carbon steel also. So all the goodies on this one. Boker USA. Moving on. Actually showed y'all this one. Was this in my pocket yesterday? Might have been. If it wasn't my pocket yesterday, it was Monday. The little bullet, Remington baby bullet. Actually, they call this the ranch hand, but it is like a little bullet jack. We have a nice long pull here. Spear point blade is your main blade. And we have a nice fat pin blade here for secondary. Got the nice Remington bullet shield on there. We have the jig Delrin. Yeah, just a cool little knife. Like I said, this was either yesterday's tote or Monday's tote that I had this in my pocket. Has all the half stops. It's all the goodness. Cool little knife. They call this the ranch hand by Remington. Cool little smaller 2-blade jack. Moving on. And this is one that is really cool right here. This is a PAL cutlery. And check this little guy out. Nice spear point blade. I don't know if y'all can read that. PAL cutlery there. This thing is an oldie. One of my oldest knives. I think this goes, it's like 35 to 43 is the range there for that tank stamp. So yeah, this is one of the oldest in my ever budding collection that I'm into now. Going vintage knives. It's got the little easy open notch here. Has half stops, all the goodness. Has the bail on the end, but you can just go right in there and pinch. Got a big, massive, easy open here. Go get your blade out. Cool little dude there. And I believe this one, this is jig bone too. That is a dyed bone. That isn't Delrin. PAL cutlery. Little easy open jack. Beauty. And my last two, so it must have been Monday because I toted this yesterday. So that little Remington, that was my Monday tote. Well, you guys saw this one yesterday, so we won't take a ton of time on it. If I can get it open. This is my 1972 Copperhead. And when I think of a jackknife, it just, for whatever reason, something like this just comes into my head. The Copperhead. It is a notorious, infamous, if you will, jackknife. This is my red bone. Got all the glory here. Red bone, 1972, carbon steel, half stops. Listen to that. Oh my goodness. Half stops. Check out that wall. These things are so good. But yeah, that was my tote yesterday. Got replaced today by the rail splitter. Almost toted this a second 2 days in a row because this thing is so good. But anyway, we love that one. And we have one more. Has the Saturn shield on it with a XX. And this is layered G10 on the covers. And this is another Copperhead. But this one, actually, wait for it, has the Wharncliffe. Nice Wharncliffe blade on this one. Nice pin. Again, half stops, great wall. But yeah, this is in red G10. Has the what they call the Saturn shield on it. Just a wonderful, wonderful little tote. Yep. And this is I think this is like a 20, how many? This looks like a 21, I believe. Yeah. I see 9 dots here. So that should be like a 21. Yeah. 21 Wharncliffe Copperhead with a Saturn shield. So anyway, Dwayne, that was my perception today. He wanted to see my jackknives. And if I did single blade, you know, any kind of cigar jack, single blade, if I did everything that is per se a jackknife, there's no way we'd have got it in one video. So I kind of went traditional today. My 2-bladed jacks, again, kind of when I hear the word jackknife, those guys right there, that's what's in my head. Again, your interpretation may vary, but anyway, that's what I got for you this morning. Once again, throw them together for Florida today. They're going to need it. They're going to need our love and support and our prayers. Thank y'all for watching. We're going to get off here. God bless. For Miss Abby, I'm HT, and I'm out.
Knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see. HT's